Banking major Axis Bank saw an increase in its net interest income, up around 8.6% on a YoY basis to come in at 13,000 crore rupees. Now, net income did grow around 4%, but sequentially the NPAs rose marginally is what we have seen. The gross NPA was seen to be at 1.5% and the net NPA number came in at 0.35%. But that's the earnings that did come out on an inline basis. But what were some of the negatives that Axis Bank did come out with? Let's get in more details on this one, and Gaurav is joining us with all those details. Gaurav.
Well, yes, on a primary basis, when we read through Axis Bank's third quarter's numbers, those look in line. So first, let's talk about net interest income that increased almost by 9%. PPOP growth was at 15%, while PAT grew only by 4%. But again, this was something what Street was expecting. When we talk about advances growth, we saw a number of around 9% on a YoY basis, which was again as per Street's expectation. When we talk about net interest margin for domestic business, we saw that number also staying flat at around 4.06%. And all in all, when we talk about credit cost, we saw an uptick in credit cost to around 0.8%, but this was again what the Street was anticipating. But there are a few things to highlight during this result. First, let's talk about net slippages. Now, this number has gone up almost by 22% on a sequential basis. Now, that number has crossed that 5,300 crore rupees mark, and that is something that we will be watching out for as how the commentary comes on slippages, where are these slippages coming from, and how the recovery is going to be. Another point to highlight is that when we look at deposit growth, that was only at 9%. Now, let's not forget that LDR ratio for Axis Bank stands at around 92%, which is one of the highest in the private sector banks, and that is something management has also highlighted earlier, that that can be a constraint for loan book growth. So any commentary related to how the loan book growth is going to be in coming quarters is going to be a crucial thing to watch out for. And lastly, when we talk about some treasury income in this quarter, that was a little high, and that is the reason why we saw 15% growth in PPOP. But in fact, when we look at core PPOP, that was a little lower than Street's expectation. So any commentary on how that number is going to be is also going to be crucial. So all in all, number seems in line, but there are a few things that need to be watched out for in Axis Bank during third quarter.